Let me ask you this. What stands between you and your goals right now? Think about it for a moment. Is it lack of knowledge? Probably not. We live in an age where information is everywhere. Is it lack of opportunity? I doubt it. We live in a country where opportunity is abundant. Is it lack of resources? Maybe for some things, but most goals require very little to get started. No, what stands between most people and their goals is something much simpler and yet much harder to overcome. It's themselves, their own lack of discipline, their inability to force themselves to do what needs to be done when it needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. You see, anyone can do something once. Anyone can work hard for a day. Anyone can start something new. But the people who achieve remarkable things in this world are the ones who can force themselves to continue long after the excitement has faded. They're the ones who show up day after day, especially on the days they don't want to. I learned this lesson years ago. Success is not something that happens to you. Success is something you attract by the person you become. And becoming that person requires you to force yourself to develop new habits, new skills, and new attitudes that your old self would resist. Now, I want to be clear about something. When I talk about forcing yourself, I'm not talking about making yourself miserable. I'm talking about becoming the captain of your own ship. I'm talking about taking control of your life rather than letting life control you. Because if you don't learn to force yourself toward your goals, life will force you into places you never wanted to go. Most people live their entire lives without ever developing the ability to force themselves to do difficult things consistently. They live at the mercy of their feelings, their moods, their impulses. I don't feel like it today. I'll start tomorrow. I'm too tired. And tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year, and eventually never. But here's what I've found after all these years. The ability to force yourself is actually the foundation of a happy, successful life. Because once you master yourself, everything else becomes possible. Let me tell you why most people fail to achieve their goals. It's not because they set goals that are too big. It's because they underestimate what it's going to take to achieve those goals. They underestimate the price that must be paid. They underestimate the obstacles they'll face. They underestimate the time it will require. And most importantly, they underestimate the person they need to become. I've met thousands of people over my career who had wonderful goals, brilliant ideas, and sincere intentions. They wanted better marriages, better health, better finances, better businesses. But wanting isn't enough. Knowing isn't enough. Even planning isn't enough. The only thing that counts is doing, consistently over time. Most people quit too soon. They plant the seed of their goal in January, dig it up in February to see if it's growing, and by March, they've abandoned it entirely. They never give their goals time to take root and grow. Most people also make the mistake of relying on motivation rather than discipline. Motivation is wonderful, but it's like a hot bath. It gets cold. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you'll feel like conquering the world. Other days you'll barely want to get out of bed. If you wait until you feel motivated to take action toward your goals, you'll never achieve anything significant. The secret is to develop the ability to take action even when you don't feel like it. To force yourself to make the call, write the page, have the conversation, do the workout, save the money, even when every fiber of your being is resisting. You know, I've often said that there are two pains in life, the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. And everyone has to choose which pain they're going to carry. Now, let's talk about the difference between successful and unsuccessful people. It's not intelligence, it's not talent, it's not luck. The main difference is how they manage themselves. Successful people do the things that unsuccessful people are unwilling to do. Successful people make the calls that unsuccessful people avoid. Successful people have the difficult conversations that unsuccessful people postpone. Successful people get up early when unsuccessful people sleep in. Successful people prepare when unsuccessful people wing it. Successful people save when unsuccessful people spend. It all comes down to choices. Daily choices, hourly choices, moment by moment choices. And these choices compound over time into vastly different lives. I remember talking to a very successful businessman once. I asked him the secret to his success. I thought he'd talk about his business strategy or market timing or some complex financial approach. But he said something very simple. He said, "Every morning I make a list of the 6 most important things I need to do that day, and then I force myself to do them, no matter what, before the day is over." And force yourself to do the important things consistently over time. It sounds so simple, but so few people ever master this basic skill. Another thing I've noticed about successful people, they're willing to be uncomfortable in the short term to be comfortable in the long term. Unsuccessful people want comfort now, which leads to discomfort later. Successful people force themselves to save money now so they can have financial freedom later. Unsuccessful people spend everything now and worry about tomorrow when it comes. Successful people force themselves to have difficult conversations now to build better relationships later. Unsuccessful people avoid conflict now and wonder why their relationships eventually fall apart. Successful people force themselves to learn new skills now so they can have more options later. Unsuccessful people stick with what they already know and wonder why opportunities pass them by. Let me tell you about the power of daily disciplines and incremental progress. This is where the magic happens. This is where average people become extraordinary. Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a day and underestimate what they can accomplish in a year. They want overnight success. They want instant results. They plant a seed today and expect to harvest a full crop tomorrow. Life doesn't work that way. Success is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's not one big decision, it's 1,000 tiny decisions. It's not about intensity, it's about consistency. Let's say you want to become financially independent. Well, one day of extreme budgeting won't get you there. But what if you forced yourself to save just 10% of your income every single month for 20 years and invested it wisely? You'd be amazed at the result. Well, let's say you want to write a book. Sitting down for one 12-hour writing session probably won't produce anything worth reading. But what if you forced yourself to write just 1 page every day for a year? That's a 365-page book. Or maybe you want to transform your health. One extreme workout or one day of perfect eating won't make much difference. But what if you forced yourself to walk for just 30 minutes every day and eat 1 more serving of vegetables than you normally would? Over a year, that could completely change your body and health. This is the philosophy of the slight edge, the compound effect. Small, seemingly insignificant actions, repeated consistently over time, create massive results. And here's the beautiful part. Once you start seeing results from your daily disciplines, it becomes easier to continue. Success breeds success. Momentum builds. What started as forcing yourself becomes a habit, and eventually it becomes part of your identity. I remember when I first started saving money. It was hard. I had to force myself. Every dollar I saved felt like a dollar I couldn't enjoy. But over time, as I watched my savings grow, as I experienced the peace of mind that came with having a financial cushion, saving became easier. Eventually, it became automatic. Now I don't even think about it. It's just what I do. It's who I am. The same principle applies to any goal. At first, you have to force yourself. You have to push against resistance. You have to fight against your old habits and patterns. But If you persist long enough, a tipping point occurs. What was once difficult becomes natural. Now, how do you develop self-discipline as a habit? How do you become the kind of person who can force yourself to do what needs to be done day after day without fail? First, you need to get crystal clear on your why. Why do you want to achieve this goal? What will it mean for your life? How will it change things for you and the people you care about? The stronger your why, the easier it is to force yourself on the tough days. I've found that people can endure almost anyhow if they have a strong enough why. They can push through almost any obstacle, overcome almost any challenge if the reason behind their goal is compelling enough. So don't just set a goal to make more money. Ask yourself why you want more money. Is it for security? Is it to create opportunities for your children? Is it to give to causes you believe in? Is it to have more freedom and options in life? Get clear on the deeper purpose and you'll find more strength to force yourself forward when times get tough. Second, start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick one area, one habit, one discipline to focus on. Master it. Make it part of who you are. Then move on to the next. Too many people try to overhaul their entire lives in a day. They want to start exercising and eating right and reading more and saving money and learning a new language all at the same time. That's a recipe for failure. You can't force yourself in a dozen different directions simultaneously. Start with one keystone habit. Maybe it's getting up at 5 a.m. Maybe it's exercising for 30 minutes every day. Maybe it's reading 10 pages of a good book daily. Whatever it is, focus all your discipline on establishing that one habit first. Once it becomes automatic, add another. Third, create an environment that supports your goals rather than sabotages them. Your environment has a powerful effect on your behavior. If you're trying to eat healthier but your kitchen is full of junk food, you're making it unnecessarily hard on yourself. If you're trying to save money but you spend your weekends at the mall with friends who love to shop, you're setting yourself up for failure. Restructure your environment to make the right behaviors easier and the wrong behaviors harder. Put your running shoes by your bed if you want to run in the morning. Automate your savings so you don't have to force yourself to transfer money each month. Unsubscribe from retail emails if you're trying to spend less. Use technology, social support in your physical environment to reduce the amount of willpower you need to expend. Fourth, track your progress. What gets measured gets managed. When you can see your improvement over time, it motivates you to continue. It also allows you to identify patterns and make adjustments. Keep a journal, use a spreadsheet, download an app. However you do it, find a way to record your daily disciplines and watch how they add up over time. Fifth, accept that discomfort is part of the process. Many people quit, forcing themselves forward as soon as it gets uncomfortable. They interpret discomfort as a sign that something is wrong. But discomfort is often a sign that you're growing, that you're pushing boundaries, that you're headed in the right direction. Learn to embrace discomfort rather than avoid it. See it as a signal that you're making progress, not a reason to stop. Now let's talk about some practical strategies to force yourself toward achievement. These are specific techniques you can use when you're facing resistance, when you don't feel like doing what you know you should do. One of the most powerful is the 5-second rule. When you find yourself hesitating to take action, count backwards from 5 to 1 and then move. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. This interrupts the hesitation habit and pushes you into action before your brain can come up with excuses. Another effective strategy is to use the power of a schedule. Don't rely on how you feel. Don't wait for the right mood to strike. Schedule the important activities that move you toward your goals, and then honor those appointments with yourself just as you would an appointment with anyone else. I've found that what gets scheduled gets done. What isn't scheduled usually doesn't. Time blocking is a related technique. Instead of just putting an item on your to-do list, actually block out the specific time on your calendar when you'll work on it. Monday from 8 to 9 a.m. work on business plan, then when Monday at 8 a.m. comes, you don't have to decide whether to work on your business plan. You just do it because that's what's scheduled for that time. Another strategy is to use the power of public commitment. Tell others about your goals and the specific actions you're going to take to achieve them. This creates social accountability. It's harder to slack off when other people are expecting you to follow through. Join a mastermind group. Find an accountability partner. Post your commitments on social media if that motivates you. Use the fear of public failure as fuel to force yourself forward. You can also use the strategy of chunking. Break big, intimidating tasks into smaller, manageable chunks. Don't think about writing a book. Think about writing a page. Don't think about losing 50 pounds. Think about making one healthy choice at your next meal. Don't think about saving for retirement. Think about saving $100, 0 cents from your next paycheck. By focusing on these smaller chunks, you reduce the psychological resistance that comes with big goals. It's easier to force yourself to take one small step than to contemplate the entire journey. Another practical approach is to use if-then planning. Anticipate obstacles and decide in advance how you'll respond to them. If it's raining in the morning, then I'll do my workout in the garage instead of going for a run. If I'm invited out to lunch, then I'll order a salad instead of a burger. If I feel too tired to work on my project in the evening, then I'll just commit to working on it for 10 minutes. This strategy allows you to make decisions in advance when your willpower is strong, rather than in the moment when it might be depleted. You can also use the power of rewards. Give yourself something to look forward to after completing a difficult task. After I finish this report, I'll take a 15-minute walk outside. If I stick to my budget all month, I'll buy those concert tickets I've been wanting. When I reach my sales target, I'll take a day off to go fishing. Just make sure your rewards don't undermine your goals. Don't reward yourself for exercising with a box of donuts. Don't reward yourself for saving money by going on a shopping spree. And finally, one of the most powerful strategies of all, just start. Action often precedes motivation, not the other way around. If you're struggling to force yourself to work on something, commit to just 5 minutes. Usually, once you start, you'll find it easier to continue. Now let's talk about overcoming obstacles and handling setbacks, because they will happen. They happen to everyone. No matter how disciplined you are, no matter how good you get at forcing yourself to take action, you will face obstacles, setbacks, and failures along the way.